won't even realize why. 9. Here's a good one for negotiations. If you like a person's offer in general, but would like to get better conditions, prepare to be a little bit disappointed. They don't think it works like magic with a high price or a low salary. 10. As soon as your alarm clock goes off, sit up, make 2 fists, and yell, "Yeah!" as if you're a soccer player who's just scored a goal. It sounds bizarre, but it really does help you easily get out of bed feeling refreshed. Just try it for yourself and let us know down in the comments if it worked for you. 11. If you're always worried whether or not you locked the door or turned your iron off, just say some absolutely absurd phrase when you're doing these things. The phrase could be different every single day. For example, you say green rabbit and turn the iron off, or oppressive crab and lock the door. The next time you start doubting whether or not you did something, you'll remember saying this weird phrase and it'll calm you down. 12. If a person tries to pull you into an argument or some kind of drama, say something nice to them. The old kill them with kindness trick really does stop them in their tracks. Another technique is to keep your calm and remain silent. There's nothing more irritating than being ignored. However, if you're trying to avoid an argument with your friend or partner, try to put yourself in their shoes. This can help you understand if there's some point in their objections that you're missing. 13. If you have that one lazy person on your team that slows the whole work process down, don't give them tasks by saying, "Do this." It's better to say, "Start with this." Psychologically, it'll seem like there's less work because, according to this phrase, they should start with something small. After they've done the first task, use the words, "Very good. Now, continue with this," until they end up finishing what you wanted them to do in the first place. 14. If you have to speak in public, don't forget to take a bottle of water with you. First of all, you'll need it since your nerves will make your mouth feel like the Sahara Desert. Plus, you can take a pause to sip some water in order to remember a part of your speech that slipped your mind. The audience will never know. And if you feel too anxious to speak in front of a large crowd, admit this fact to the audience right away. It lightens the mood, calms your nerves, and it makes your listeners feel more sympathetic since most of them can probably relate. 15. If someone is staring at you in the subway, happens all too often, right? Just look at their shoes. Don't give up. Keep gazing. It'll drive them crazy. 16. If you seem really worried each time you see someone you know, in the end, this person will also start feeling worried every time they see you. So, do with that information what you will. 17. If someone has done something wrong, but you don't want to sound too accusing, change the way you construct your sentences. For example, instead of saying, "You didn't close the window before you left," you can say, "The window was left open all night." They'll learn from their mistake, and you won't seem like a meanie pointing your finger. 18. If you didn't get a good night's sleep, tell yourself that you did. I know, it sounds like nonsense, but it does work 100% if you say it with meaning. Scientists from Colorado College published a study in the Journal of Experimental Psychology in which they found that if you genuinely believe that you're well rested, even if you're not, your brain does function better. 19. People are better at remembering what happened at the beginning and end of the day. As for anything that went on in between, it gets blurry. This is a great tip when it comes to job interviews. Agree to a time that's either at the start of the workday or at the end of it. This way, the employer will remember you among all the other candidates. Do you know any other effective tricks that can help you get what you want? Share your experience in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and click subscribe.
Wait, say it again.
Take your vitamins. Eat this. It has this vitamin. Drink that. It'll give you that vitamin. Well, this sense of urgency isn't without reason. A vitamin deficiency can take a huge toll on your health. Today, we're focusing on the extremely important vitamin D. What signs show a deficiency? How serious is the problem? And what can you do to get more of it? Keep watching to find out. Be sure to click subscribe and ring the notification bell to join us on the bright side. Now, let's take a look at some common symptoms of a vitamin D deficiency, starting with number 1. You sweat excessively. Of course, sweating is a totally normal thing, especially if you've just taken a long run or it's a particularly hot day. Sweating that seems a little excessive or not brought on by anything particularly obvious, however, can be a sign that you're lacking vitamin D. If you notice that you're sweating excessively, even if it's not that hot out, you may want to ask your doctor about it. As for any new parents out there, it's worth noting that infants who sweat excessively are often suspected of having a vitamin D deficiency. 2. Your bones often ache. As you get older, it's pretty common to experience sore joints and aching bones. But bone pain can be a sign of a vitamin D deficiency. You've probably heard that you need calcium for strong bones. Well, it can't do much for you without vitamin D's help. Without vitamin D, your bones can't absorb the necessary amount of calcium to create healthy bone tissue, causing a weakening of the bones known as osteomalacia. This can lead to a sensitivity in your bones, which can result in fractures and bone diseases like osteoporosis. Number 3, you have muscle pain. Have you ever noticed that your muscles feel sore and take a while to get back to normal after a workout? This is pretty normal since exercising causes microscopic tears in the muscle fibers that take some time to heal. However, if you feel like your muscles become sore really easily and for a long amount of time, it may be because you're not getting enough vitamin D. In addition to aching bones and muscles, a lack of vitamin D can cause chronic pain throughout the entire body. This debilitating condition is known as fibromyalgia, and it makes life a living nightmare for those who suffer from it. Number 4. You get sick all the time. Suffering from your 4th or 5th virus this year? It may be because a lack of vitamin D is causing your immune system to work poorly. In her 2011 study, Dr. Cynthia Aronow of the Feinstein Institute for Medical Research found that vitamin D did more than just help with bone health. She saw that cells in the immune system were actually able to synthesize when exposed to vitamin D. What does that mean? Aronow believes that people with autoimmune diseases could be treated with vitamin D. So, next time cold and flu season comes around, make sure you're prepped with lots of vitamin D in your body. Number 5. You can't seem to stay energized. It's 4 p.m. and you feel like you have 2 bricks as eyelids and barely have the strength to get up from your desk. Sound familiar? There could be quite a few reasons for this feeling, like staying up a little too late the night before, but it can also be due to a lack of vitamin D. If you feel unusually fatigued every day and can't seem to shake it, it may be worth talking to a doctor about it. I know it's really tasty and refreshing, but relying on coffee all the time isn't always the best solution. Number 6. When you get cuts or bruises, they take forever to heal. Does it seem like your small wounds and injuries take longer to heal than everyone else's? There could be a couple of reasons for this. Sometimes people who smoke experience slower healing on their wounds due to low oxygen levels in their body that are brought on by this bad habit. But this kind of slow healing can also be because of a lack of, say it with me, vitamin D. If you happen to have diabetes and notice your wounds taking forever to heal, you should pay special attention to the levels of vitamin D in your body. According to scientists and medical experts like Dr. Nancy Munoz, a doctor of clinical nutrition, vitamin D can positively affect blood glucose and cholesterol levels and stabilize them. People with diabetes tend to have issues with both those things, so keeping an eye on vitamin D levels can be especially crucial to their health. Number 7. You notice more hair falling out of your head than usual. The average person loses anywhere from 50 to 100 hairs from their head every day. Scary, right? But if you suffer from a lack of vitamin D, you can lose way more than that. At least enough to notice that something's definitely not right. Some hair loss treatments use vitamin D to help combat the issue. But things like genetics and other disorders could also be the culprit. If you suffer from an unusual amount of hair loss, it's best to consult your doctor to find the root of the problem. No pun intended.
I do.
Number 8. You can't shake the feeling of sadness. Depression is no joke. Many people who struggle with depression experience a lack of appetite, fatigue, and in some cases, actual physical pain. But what does vitamin D have to do with depression? Quite a bit, believe it or not. According to
Guys,
Psychology
I'm on my
Today, vitamin D
stream
is the only vitamin that is also a
now.
hormone.